About a year ago, our friend Eric told us about his dream to fly all the way across the country in his sailplane. And a year later, we have traveled down the West Coast to meet up with Eric and his wife Julie in Southern California to begin this adventure we call Soar America. We'll travel in our camper vans and chase Eric as he flies his sailplane in a series of flights. We are ready to begin our adventure we call Soar America. All right, it's flying day.
I hope so.
We hope so.
Yeah.
If
It's
the wind
not too
agrees.
windy.
Yes, if the wind agrees, it is
Right.
flying day.
Right, that's right.
It's Friday morning. Heading to the airport. Hoping the winds are good today so that Eric can have his first flying day. Right after we pulled out of the Adelanto RV park onto the road to go to the airport for Eric's first flight, road trip radio played Come Sail Away by Styx. Due to copyright laws, I can't play the music, but know that Tim and I did an excellent job singing along. We started out in Southern California, and Eric's first launch was at Crystal Airport, which is actually the home of a soaring school. So they were well prepared to handle a soaring and actually were able to give him a tow. There was a tow plane there that could tow him up. So really fun to start out at a place that knew soaring and that was equipped for it. Had lots of support and help getting him up in the air for that first flight. So that was exciting, a good way to get started. The doggy team members ready for Eric to fly. And the chase is on.
Here we go.
We got the girls in the lead, and then Tim's in the chase van. Gonna pick up Eric. But where?
Nobody knows yet.
So Eric's first flight was not very long because these winds are crazy. Crazy windy day today. So he landed at Apple Valley Airport. This is probably pretty unusual for a camper van. Was only his second time ever to do a self-launch, and Tim ran beside him holding up one of the wings of the plane. You can self-launch with one wing down, but it was kind of nice that Tim could hold the wing up for him to launch. Alright, so Tim just helped Eric self-launch the plane, and he had to run while holding the wing so that the wing didn't drop to the ground. So how fast did you get running with the plane?
Well, according to my Garmin GPS watch, I got up to a 4-minute 30-second mile. That's pretty fast for me.
So can you tell how far you ran with him?
15. I ran with him for 15 seconds. Got the job done. Yeah, looked like he had a smooth launch. He's at 81,000 feet.
81. Wow. And he wanted to get to 85.
He wanted to get to 85. And so he's been climbing, and he's coming.
Is it 81,000 or 8,100?
I'm sorry, 8,100 feet.
Okay.
Yes. 81,000 would be way up there.
Yeah.
That's starting to get into low Earth orbit.
Okay, so he's actually getting some lift today.
It looks like it, yeah.
And from self-launching, that's more challenging.
Yeah, especially at these conditions with the atmosphere is less dense. So, getting lift is challenging. He didn't get as much yesterday as he wanted. But, he made it out here. He made some progress, so.
That's exciting, though. This was only his second time to self-launch and his first time on this trip. And it seemed to go well.
Yeah. Seemed to go really well.
Good job. So
Thanks.
The end of another flying day.
Yep.
Eric flew how many miles?
I'm not sure yet, 150-ish.
Okay. We drove a little over 200. Had a good day. Made some progress. Day 3 of Soar America. It's time for another self-launch, so Tim is warming up to run with the plane. It is stinking hot on a runway in Southern California. Julie found the one piece of shade under the wing. He's done a lot of research into these airports to figure out which ones are safe to land at and which ones are safe to launch. It is going to be rare for them to have a tow plane to get him up, so most of them will be self-launching. But for him to self-launch, the runway needs to be long enough and wide enough. And so far, everywhere he's landed has been a place where he could also launch. takes off. Then the chase crew heads out. Today we did a self-launch, so that meant we were out on the runway with him. So we are driving on the runway right now, taking the van that towed the plane out back to meet the other van. And then we'll have some lunch and kind of watch Eric's progress through a couple of different apps. He can also text us information, and at this point we're just making sure that he's actually moving on. It's not a perfect flying day today, so he may actually come back here if he can't get the lift he needs. So we'll spend a little bit of time having lunch and just make sure that he is heading east before we head out, and then we're on the road. We have our support team here of our dogs that are, giving us the support we need to make this happen. We also have a radio that we can hear traffic from the airport. So we're heading back to have some lunch, and then we'll hit the road to chase Eric. Who knows where? Our four-legged crew members are so helpful. They're staying close to be sure they keep me warm. It's, in the 90s out there right now?
Maybe.
And we're sitting in the van with the windows open trying to keep cool, and the dogs want to snuggle because that's what you do when it's hot. Sure. So he got launched from Blythe and made it to Casa Grande or Casa Grande. We heard it pronounced both ways. The next day wasn't so great, so we took a rest day, and that let us do laundry and some grocery shopping and spent some time at the pool just relaxing. So this morning was the, which one, fourth flight, and it was a little high drama. We had a very busy airport, so lots of planes coming and going, and Eric had to fit in between. He was doing a self-launch, so we had to tow the plane and then we had to push it out onto the runway. So he's listening to air traffic, and we're trying to make sure that we push the plane out when nobody else is coming and he has time to launch. So that was interesting. And then a light came on the dash on our van while Tim was towing the plane out, a red brake light, and so that was a little scary. The light's gone now, so hopefully all's good, and Eric's in the air and flying high, and that's looking good too. So hopefully the drama's over.
I hope so.
Yeah.
No more drama.
Yeah, and we may actually drive all the way through New Mexico today, just depending on how well his flight goes. So may catch you next time in Texas. So here we are. Eric has landed. And this is what happens after he lands. Have to take everything apart. We're very thankful for headlamps so we can see it all in the dark.
Very handy.
Eric had a good flight today.
It was another high drama flight.
Yeah.
Every good flight is like a good movie. There are highs and lows. You're on top of the world at 14,000 feet, and then you're back down to 6. Find lift where you didn't expect it. You don't find lift where you did expect it. So
Yep.
a lot of drama, good story, frustration, fun with dust devils, mountains, dry lake beds, all sorts of interesting stuff. A tethered balloon. There was a balloon that was at least 7,000 feet off the ground, tethered to the ground. And it's on the sectional, and I had studied that before, and I knew it was around, and I saw it. This weird thing just hanging up there in the sky, way up there.
Huh.
Don't dare fly under that.
No.
Right.
Do you know why it's there?
I didn't study why. I don't know.
Huh.
I may do that.
So there was a Project Loon that Google was doing where they were doing communication systems with balloons. I don't know if it's related to that or something else.
I
Interesting.
don't know.
Yeah.
May have to look it up.
I think
So
we
how were
drove.
the Dust Devils? Did you dance with the Dust Devils?
I did. They were good.
A ton.
They were good. Neat things happened with the Dust Devils. There was a huge lake bed. Must have been 15 miles across. And as I approached it from like 25 or 30 miles away, I saw just this nebulous cloud of dust. I thought maybe there are dust devils there. And as I got closer, there weren't any. But as I went over it, some started forming. And I went over the top of one, found a thermal, climbed up nicely. And before I left the dry lake bed, there were 5 of them in a row, spaced out like a few miles apart. All of them working. And I got high and turned around and left. And when I stopped for the next thermal, as soon as I turned back and could see the dry lake bed, all of them were dead. It was just disorganized blobs of dust again. So all of them were active at the same time, and all of them died at about the same time.
Oh, wow.
So that's a mystery that I'll ponder. All sorts of interesting things to see up there.
Yeah. So we drove over 200 miles again today. Do you know how many you flew yet?
I believe airport to airport it was like 241.
Nice.
But if you add a little backtracking for the start at the takeoff airport and add the 15 or so that I flew beyond this one and then came back, it's 255 or something like that.
All right.
Probably only made really, 240 miles of progress.
Right, right. So is that better than normal for you?
For a straight out flight, I mean, I haven't done many straight out flights before this trip. Only a handful, 3 maybe, and only one of them was longer than that. I had a 270 mile one, the other 2 were 150 or 60 or so. But those were days where I waited for the right day and picked it. On this trip, if the day's flyable, we go.
Right.
If it's good, we go. So you just take what you can get.
This was a good one.
Yeah, I really wanted the 500 kilometers, 311 miles, and was so close. I should have launched earlier. Probably should have launched half an hour earlier, and I bet that would have made the difference. But it was a good day.
Good. Good job.
Thank you. And you guys were here half an hour after I landed. That's amazing.
Good timing.
Awesome.
Julie's doing her posting. Have to update all of Eric's fans on his landing. And Tim and Eric are finishing taking the plane apart. Today is an off day for the crew. Eric didn't feel like he could fly very far today, and we had a late night last night. So we are at the City of Rocks State Park here in New Mexico. Some of us are gonna run, some walk. We have Ellie out, so four-legged crew are involved in this too. And we're just gonna have a little fun exploring the area and taking a little break from flying and driving today.
the battery in place. I can confirm the batteries are in there, so they won't take me something that they'll have to pull open immediately, but we will have to remove this tape once we land. One of the more skilled efforts that we did here was to get the aircraft ready to fly is by taping the seams. This helps.
So we have cumulus clouds today, which is what Eric looks for. That typically means good conditions, but he's not extremely optimistic about today. He's gonna head toward those clouds and see what he gets. This is Del City, Texas. We are in the middle of nowhere. So Eric's flight tonight ended in Del City, Texas, which is a town with a population of around 400. And they have a little RV park here that we were able to get into tonight. That's one of the challenges on the road, is we never know where we're going to be at the end of the day. And so we have to kind of figure out on the fly where we're going to spend the night. So always nice when we're able to find a good location for us to spend the night. And then we'll see. Eric will look at the weather tonight and he'll decide whether tomorrow is a fly day or a rest day. Today marks 1 week since we started the Soar America adventure. In some ways it feels like longer than that, and in some ways it's hard to believe that it's already been a whole week. It's been a really great start to the adventure, and we're looking forward to several more weeks. Made some good progress getting all the way to Texas in the first week.